Hello and welcome back to our playthrough of Aeon, Trespass, Odyssey. I am Emerging Boat and today we'll be starting on day 2 of cycle 3. I'll turn down the lights here so you can see the little bit of map that we have. I think I need to turn off this one with my new setup. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So we've arrived in Delphi after learning that at the end of cycle 2 that the Eschaton, or the cause of the Eschaton, supposedly could maybe be found in Delphi. Additionally, the Nietzschean had come and tried to conquer Delphi, and whatever he faced here bested him. And he even told us with his dying breath, when you find, I can't remember what his exact words were, but it was something along the lines of, when you find him in Delphi, kill him for me. Now, I don't know how many favors I want to be doing for, albeit a dead Nietzschean, but it's very interesting. So we come up to Delphi, and right off the bat, we see that it is a very strange land indeed. Time seems to be inconsistent in Delphi. Both in battles and in some story, we've seen this wall, like glimmery, shimmering wall that has moved through areas and just basically undone things, destroyed ships of people. We saw these people referred to as the Sun Heirs who were essentially sacrificing themselves. They saw this as an opportunity to give themselves up and sacrifice themselves to their Lord and Savior, Helios. Even though all the gods are dead, they are still bound to worship him. And so we saw this time front rip through and destroy ships of Sun Heirs. We've even seen what seems to be a replica, or really the Argo, just not even a replica. It is the Argo itself, crashed and destroyed in an iceberg. And you can see that in the middle card there up in the northeast corner. We've seen our own ship destroyed. We also met somebody, Icarus, the son of Daedalus, who, it's kind of hard to describe him as a person. He seemed to be this being that was flickering in and out of time. He talked about the number of iterations that it's been and how it's a good sign that we've gotten here. This is showing some actual promise that we might actually be able to do something now that we've made it here. But before he could finish getting his whole message out, he also made it seem like we have met him before in other iterations, and he was forgetful of whether or not he had met us. It was confusing for him. But before he flickered out of existence, or at least existence from our timeline, he said something along the lines of, you have to find some of Icarus's father's inventions, Daedalus's inventions, and light them. But we don't really know what that means yet. And so we are just right now searching around Delphi for clues that could help us with figuring out what exactly we need to be doing. We just finished a fight with the Hypertime Oracle and did not escape without any casualties. We did lose our Sky Seer. We got a couple of Fated Nemesises, but we did get a piece of crit gear, which I like. But I think we're ready to continue on with our journey into day 2 here. So I'm going to turn these lights back up and we will move on. We can move north or west here. I'm just going to move north. Grab these cards. Let's go to this view and we're going to move north to tile 12. Dun, dun, dun. Tile 12, where are you? There you are. Okay. Get these out of the way. And no, that's not just a bad printing or a glare on my card. There is what seems to be like a beam of lighter area here on the map tile. I almost feel like I'm out of practice with looking for hidden codes because there were so few of them on the tiles that we went to in cycle 2. But I don't think I see any here. Okay. But there is an adventure hub symbol in here. There's a portal symbol, which is locked, so we will not pay any attention to that. Oh, I do need a new thing here. Goes there. We are there now. And we need to draw our exploration cards. We are going to gain a Titan. All right. I need Titans. I, again, did not do the little, what is it, Onwards Odyssey that comes between cycles 2 and 3. I just felt like coming right into cycle 2, so I kind of wish I did, just for the sake of being able to maybe start with some extra things, but whatever. We are not friendly with anybody yet. Continue this pile. That is gain 2 Skin of Malice resources. We're also not denounced with anybody, so we don't need that penalty. Skin of Malice. Okay. That ends that pile. We don't have an adversary out yet. We will soon. And we're going to gain another Skin of Malice. Not a skin just floating around the ocean. Ugh, it's gross. Okay, shuffle these up. See if I have forced myself to shuffle in a way that I'm not just going to be putting the same cards on top, like I apparently am doing with my trauma decks, because I keep getting the same cards on top there. And then we'll jump into our first adventure for the cycle. Yay! Let me cut over to my page for determining the adventure. We're going to roll our die. Boom. That is a 5. That is going to put us on Children of the Sun. I don't think I have any technologies yet that would allow me to choose a different adventure here. So, we're going to go Argo Adventures, Children of the Sun, do the alpha, and it's going to be crime. Dang, I was really hoping for like dream or something. I don't think this is going to help us with... okay, this will help us at least with 1 Fated Nemos. Crime, no, crime, no, crime. On a resolved Fated Nemos. Otherwise, no. Crime, yes. On Left 4 Dead. And on your Fated Nemos. Okay. Go to our voiceover here. Adventure hubs.
Pillars of smoke arise from the city, speaking of growing unrest. These days, the Sun Heirs don't get along with most other groups, and you're starting to wonder if they ever did. Stepping ashore, you see Sun Heir acolytes dragging people out into the streets. An older priest, flanked by guards, approaches you, introducing himself as Marcos, the oracle of this polis. He explains that the conflict has been brewing for some time, with the Twilight Watch gradually radicalizing the citizens, inciting them against the rule of Helios. He claims they're responsible for a fire that killed a local priest and his congregation while they prayed in the Agora. As you listen to his tale, the gleam of sorrow flickering in his eyes, the mention of the violence stirs something within one of you, a subtle memory bobbing to the surface. A choice, a consequence, and a lifetime of pensive introspection.
Least likely are not gains, the Life of Regret Nemos card. Who is least likely? Thirstygard is least likely. Show this card really quickly. I already blocked off the ones that we don't have unlocked, but at least at level 1 we'll have a discard 1 bleeding token ability. Be nice against the Harpy. Let's give that to her in this as well. Life of Regret, right? Yeah. Okay.
The Oracle pleads with you to help him stabilize the situation before it comes to a bloody civil war. Please root out the disruptive element before it is too late. before their leader commits to a path none of us will be able to turn from. You watch him leave, a pronounced limp hampering his progress. As the prisoners are marched off in his wake, one of them stumbles over their chains. You catch him before he hits the ground, and the guards quickly pull him back in line. The column disappears from view. Only then do you look down to the wad of parchment folded and thrust into your palm. It reads, "Resist," followed by directions that lead you to a nondescript warehouse on the outskirts of the polis. Though the words of the oracle were convincing and rang true, the same could be said about the rattle of those chains. Before you commit to a side, you need to know more. The warehouse is inconspicuous, but as soon as you enter, the stench of sickness and death assaults you. It's hard to count the many burned or dying that are lying on the hay-strewn floor, while others, equally world-worn, tend to them. There are others in the back, though, with grimmer faces and black-dulled blades hanging from their belts.
So, it's the Argonauts that my father sends after me.
A woman approaches you. At your puzzled looks, she says,
I am Photine, the Oracle's daughter and leader of those who oppose Helios's religious tyranny. Have you seen the prisoners? Do you know what the Sun Heirs do to them? This.
She points to all the wounded.
To those who refuse to bow down before a dead god. Sun-kissing. So, will you now drag us before the Oracle?
What of the fire that burned the Agora? Photine doesn't meet your gaze.
Things got out of hand.
We have two options here. Option one, it's hard to blame a person who defends themselves, especially seeing the atrocities the Sun Heir's priestdom is committing. You cannot, in good conscience, help the Oracle. Allow the resistance to continue unhindered. Twilight Watch diplomacy +1, Sun Heir's diplomacy -1. Option two, what the Oracle is doing is excessive, but these people are not blameless. Violence only fuels more violence, and someone has to stop. Whatever these people are resisting, they are still spreading unrest and threatening the safety of the common folk. Persuade the Oracle's daughter to turn herself in for the good of the people. Sun Heir's diplomacy +1, Twilight Watch diplomacy -1. Yeah, I'm gonna go with option one. I'm not really aligned with these Sun Heirs. So we're going to allow the resistance to continue unhindered. Twilight Watch diplomacy +1, Sun Heir's diplomacy -1. Okay. Boom. Boom. We're now at -2 with the Sun Heirs, +1 for the Twilight Watch, and +3 for the Delphians.
Photine is disappointed that you won't help her cause, but relieved that you will not turn them in. You leave, heads full of troubling thoughts. You are almost back to the docks when an explosion booms in the distance, rocking the district. Guards rush toward the temple at the city's heart as you see a pillar of smoke rising. Racing through the streets, past frightened and wounded citizens, you arrive at a scene of reckless and desperate carnage. A score of acolytes lies dead at the sanctuary's steps, a crater blasted into the very stone. You notice several sets of broken chains and a trail of blood and bodies that leads all the way to the top. Among the casualties, you recognize some of the prisoners from earlier. You ascend slowly, with growing trepidation. At the top of the steps, beneath a massive statue of Helios embracing, the rebels have amassed a pile of black ice. There are strange statics around you, and you figure this must have been the material used to cause the blast. There, The Twilight Watch have the Oracle Marcos on his knees, bound to the statue. They spot your approach and form a shield wall around him. Leave him alone! Fotine, the Oracle's daughter, steps from beyond the shield wall. She doesn't seem completely surprised, just weary.
Why must you? You haven't stopped the gruesome torture, so why intervene now?
This is not the way, Fotine.
But it is. These people are fanatics. He,
She points to the Oracle.
would have burned me, his own daughter, just because I don't bow before his dead god. There is only one way forward now. As long as people like him cling to their beliefs, there will be no future for us.
Three options here. Well, actually, before we even have three options, we're going to gain 1 progress and 2 Argo Fate, just off the bat. Progress, 2 Argo Fate. Then, option 1. You see the desperation in her eyes, the kind, fragile soul pushed to the brink, and know it is her you need to save. You need to turn her away from this reckless course of action before she is consumed. Option 2. You need to put a stop to this before more lives are lost. Fotine has accomplished so much good, but you can appeal to her better nature and make her see that this is not the way to accomplish her goals. Option 3. These rebels have already become a dangerous force, unhinged and threatening the lives of others to achieve their goals. You may not be able to rely on them to see reason, but if you can act fast, maybe you'll avert disaster. So basically the difference between options 1 and 2 is option 1, we are going to kind of forcibly stop and disarm the Twilight Watch. Option 2 is we're going to reason with them. Let's go with option 2. I'm not going with option 3. So we're going to get Sun Air, Delphian's Diplomacy +1, Sun Air's Diplomacy -1. Now friendly with the Delphians. We're really working our way down with the Sun Airs already.
As a sign of good faith, you lower your weapons, begging Fotine to reconsider her next move. Do you want to become the next tyrant? The next font of fear for the people to cower from in their homes? You have the power to make a difference. Make it. At first, anger flashes across her face, but then her gaze passes to her father, and you watch as tears swell her eyes. You wonder how much the city has suffered, how many lives she has had to stitch together over and over again. Gently, like letting out a breath, she relents, allowing you to remove the black ice from beneath the statue.
Thank you,
She whispers, only loud enough for you to hear. As she stands down, you see her father look at her with an unusual warm light in his gaze. Surprise and pride? It is difficult to read his expression. The remaining explosives are disposed of, and the Oracle not only relinquishes his position and titles, but passes them all to his daughter, ordering that his acolytes follow her leadership. Strangest of all, he says, I wish to join you on board the Argo, in exile. Marcos and Fotine's parting is without affection or goodbyes, but also without malice. Crowds jeer and insult him the whole way to the pier, but never once does he flinch or cower before the citizens. Not for the first time, you wonder what trials forged such a figure.
Gain 1 Paradox and 1 Priest. Okay. Gain a paradox. We're already at 3 paradox. Oh boy. That does give us our ability on our hourglass necklace already. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing penalties of paradox come up sooner rather than later though. And then we're going to gain a priest of Helios specifically, but doesn't really matter. Then we will mark L8. L8, and we will say convinced. What was her name? Fotine. To not kill her son heir. No. Father. The Oracle. Marcos. Marcos joined the Argo crew. All right, and then return to the voyage phase. See, do we have any other things in our timeline for today? Oh, sorry, we should be on day 2. I'm not even marking my timeline off. Breaking the rules. I have nothing that I wanted to do. No, I do want to put, what's it? I want to lose a Titan, right? Oh, I would need to lose 2 Dreamwalker Titans to get the Sky Seer on the calendar for 20 days from now, and I don't think I have 2 Dreamwalker Titans. No, I just have 1. Okay, so I can't do that yet. Oh, no, I do have 2 Dreamwalker Titans. We just have this one named. That's fine. So I will mark you as dead. Mark you as dead. And then we will put Sky Seer on day 22. All right. What, we're down to 8 Titans now, I think? Yeah, all right, we can get by with that. We'll be okay. At least until we have the adversary coming after us. The fun time that is the Dehaka. I think that's all I wanted to do. I don't really have much in terms of interesting Cycle 3 technologies yet. Titan breeding. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else that I want to do on this day. Okay. So then we will go, let's see, from this space we can go, well, the only new place we can go is west. So we're going to go west, and that's also going to be a Delphian space. West to tile, is that 5? This cycle has so many map tiles in it. And we see a lighthouse here, which has light just beaming off of it in the 4 cardinal directions. Maybe this is what Icarus was talking about, huh? Huh? Maybe. Maybe. All right, I don't see anything else interesting on this. I don't see any secret codes, unfortunately. So we're gonna place this to the west. Here. Ugh. Mark off day 3. We'll get a combat research today. Very good. And then we have our exploration cards. Do those. Helian Holy Adjudicatory. What a word. All right. Resolve an effect based on your diplomacy with the Sun Heirs. That is going to be unfriendly. We're going to gain an Argo fate. No. Then this will get removed until the next timeline battle. And that's a draw, continuing that pile. Gain a Skin of Malice. Okay. Oh, I should probably be crafting some things. I really need to craft some equipment. Then gain 2 more Skin of Malith. Really just a lot of skin floating in this area. What the hell is wrong with Delphi? Shuffle these up. Then we have nothing for expedition, nothing for encounter, advancement. Let me think about some stuff to craft here. All right, I crafted a couple of things here. I crafted a few things from the burden. So this Pithos Linothorax and the icebreakers. I had to craft other gear and then basically upgrade to these, but the Pithos Linothorax is +1 evasion, +2 to evasion rerolls. It has knockback reduction 2. You can stand up with it. You can roll out to try to avoid knockdown. You can get Wish Armor, which will be useful against the Dahaka. And we can potentially lose Fate, which could be good against the Hypertime Oracle. Then we have the Icebreakers, which are Ascended. They allow you to reduce kickback, knockback, and pull by 3 if you exhaust and gain a Fate. But they also allow you to ignore slippery terrain tiles and gain Rocksteady on Irem Tower terrain tiles. That last part maybe could be useful against the Dahaka. I have very few ways of getting on Irem Towers, but it'll be useful in Cycle 4. But being able to ignore slippery terrain movement could be very nice against the, what's it called, the Harpy. And then Fate Safe allows you to lose Fate with it, and also allows you to get Second Chance if you have 7 Danger or 3 Paradox, and we have 3 Paradox right now, so we can get a reliable Second Chance out of this. I will be crafting another Fate Safe as soon as I can get more Daedalus Machina. Oh, and then we have a combat research we can do. Forgot about that. Take a look at our projects. All right, I'm going to skim through these really quickly. Okay, I think I'm going to do my next fight against the Oracle again. So in that case, I think I'm going to grab this. I'm deciding between the Fate Converter and the Possibility Matrix. Possibility Matrix could be better, but the Fate Converter is just nice and consistent, so I'm just going to grab that. Cool. All right. I need to grab that technology. And we are ready to move on to the next day. We are going to go to day 4, so we can go west or north. Let's just go west. That'll take us to tile number 2. Oh, that is a Sun Airs tile. Let's get the Sun Airs, I guess, exploration away or out of the way before we are denounced or worse with them. Okay, I don't see any hidden codes, but I do see an R&R adventure. We'll get that. There, we will travel west. We are now in Sun Airs territory. Then we have to go to the next day and draw our exploration cards. 2 Siren Shell resources. Let me make sure that I'm only at -3 diplomacy here. Yeah, okay. 2 Siren Shell. It's a mortal resource. Okay. Adversary symbol doesn't matter. That's the end of that pile. Then this one, 2 Living Abyss. And that's all. All right, that was a simple draw. And then we will roll for our R&R adventure, although it's probably a limited number of R&R adventures we can do because I'm sure I have fated boxes marked from my previous voyage. Fated events. And on our adventures, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 1 to 2 is the first one. 2 to 3, or 1 to 2, 3 to 4, so on and so forth. 10. Argonalia. Da, 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 da. Argonalia. Da, 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 da. Go to our voiceover here. R&R.
The diverse voices of the Argo gather, mustered to discuss matters of the running of the great city ship. As you sit and discuss the many matters facing you, one of the representatives of the community comes forward with a proposition.
The people need something to lift their spirits,
She explains.
The times we face are so dire, and the work before the crew is taxing. While resources may be limited, we should hold a festival, an opportunity for merrymaking and a diversion from the difficulties surrounding us.
Agreed. Another speaks up. A festival in the likeness of the Dionysia of old would boost the morale of the people. Music, drinking, revelry, just like the times before the Eschaton. You think the sweets nymph will show up? Asks Alcibiades innocently, and people start to smirk. Hey, you were all thinking it. What we need is to hold an event like the Panathenaic Games of Athens. Another voice joins in. Just think about it. Contests of strength, speed, might. We could really get the people's blood pumping. Oh yes, because we had so much time during the Spartan Olympics. Everyone turns to Socrates, war philosopher. What? Too soon?
Way,
Says the old priest with a soft smile.
what I was thinking was a festival of the lights, like the Hyperboreans of Delphi used to have.
All eyes turn to you, eager for your input. The party leader squints and says, We'll do it all. Excitement builds over the next few days after the announcement of the first festival of the city ship, dubbed Argonalia, spreads among the people. The priests make ready sacrifices to the dead gods, while poets and musicians fill the corridors and decks with strains of their musings. Smells of the myriad of dishes fill the air. The older members of the Argos complement recall the contests of old, while the youths feel the energy building up inside of them, waiting for a release. A grand games in the model of the Olympics. A collection of contests to spur the hearts of your crew. You can't imagine a more appropriate way to inspire them than this. The games last several days, with all manner of sporting events held. Foot races through the lower decks of the city ship. Contests of skill on makeshift archery ranges. Even a Pancration tournament between the strongest of your people. On the last night of the festival, people are engulfed in a tide of revelry. The wine flowing freely, while smoke from the offerings and the light lanterns rise on the evening breeze, higher and higher. The atmosphere of the ship is one of joy and celebration as, for just a moment, the trials beyond the hull of the Argo are forgotten.
Subtract 2 Argo Fate, or gain 1 crew, or gain 1 hull. Then return to the voyage phase. Ooh, what do we want to do? How many days until my next timeline battle? Only 2 more days. I'm going to be spawning the Dehaka. When does the Dehaka come in? Did I miss it? Oh, no. Oh, day 10 is when it comes in? Interesting. Okay. We have 2 days until we're going to do another battle. We would lose another 3 Argo Fate during that battle. So, probably not the best use to do Argo Fate. Let's do Hull. All right, and then return to the voyage phase. We'll get to do a structural research. Structural. What do we have? What am I looking through there? Projects. Structural. Delphian investigations. After you roll in the Adventure Hub's table, you may choose to resolve an adventure from the hub you rolled or the one in the row directly below. Okay. It's like the opposite of the Spartan one. Titan Genetic Memory. Add all pattern cards you gained in Cycle 3 to the Gymnasium deck. All pattern cards. Okay. That's good. And then Ultimate Trading Solutions. What is Delphian Diplomatic Relations? Because I don't really care about the trading as much. Let's do the Delphian investigations. I like having control, some amount of control over the adventure hubs. Okay. Then let's see. Where are we going? Okay, I gotta grab this card. Back to timeline. And then I think I haven't gotten any Machina, Daedalus Machina, no, okay. Then I think I'm good to move on to the next day. From here, we can either go north to tile 3 or south to tile 1. Let's go south to tile 1. This is going to be a little annoying with building this dynamically because now I need to just snugly fit this in down here. There we go. All right, now let me find the tile. Oh, that's not straight at all. That's better. Okay. What tile am I finding? Tile 1. I don't see any hidden codes on this. I feel like in cycle 1, I kind of had an idea of where some of the hidden codes were. In cycle 2, like towards the middle of the cycle, I started remembering like, okay, I don't think we're actually going to be hitting any of the hidden codes unless we go out of our way. In cycle 3, I totally have no idea where the hidden codes are. I do not remember. At least right now, I don't. So it'll be, I'm sure I'll be missing some. So we're going south. There's a Titan marker on there. There's an adventure marker. Dropping dog hairs on the table. Come on. Come on. Come on. If my dog were a person, I'm sure he'd love this game. Where am I going next? I am doing exploration cards and the timeline. So let's pull this up. And we're gonna get 2 siren shells. We're not, I know I just double checked this, but making sure we are not denounced. Yes, we are not denounced yet. Go gain 2 siren shell resources. Also, let me mark off the timeline because I did not do that. And then, that ends that stack. The next stack, we will gain another 2 siren shell resources. And gain nothing else from that stuff. All right. I'm really enjoying the just not caring about the adversary activation symbol until we get our adversary. Also, it's crazy that we don't get the adversary in this cycle until day 10. That's so late. That's such a nice little break from him. I mean, it is interesting, like, if you kill him in cycle 2 and you do not have the expansions, like you don't have the Dehaka, sorry, if you kill the burden in cycle 2 and then you do not have the expansions, then you just don't have an adversary in cycle 3. And like, that sounds cool, but also I could see that being more negative than positive, because
like, the adversary is just so good for being able to control your, what's it called? Argo Fate. Especially if you're doing the burden and you're not in a rush to fight them. Like, those burden fights you can get pretty reliably good at. Like, you know, you win a majority of the time, so you're not losing a lot of Titans. So yeah, I'm excited for this cycle, or having the Dehaka in this cycle, because it kind of goes back to the adversary being like, yes, he's good for, the adversary is always good for controlling Argo Fate, but I'm going to be way more afraid of having to face the Dehaka, because you can't, like, you have to deal wounds to him to kill him and to win against to win a fight against him, I should say. So it's not like you can just kind of game the system. It's going to be tough. Like, we're going to lose Titans to him for sure. And I don't know. He's fun to fight against. Just hard, I think, without gear that you would normally get in Cycle 4. Anyway, all right, I digress. That is our current map layout right now. Maybe I should try to get like an actual map view and have like a view where I just zoom in on like that top left portion of the screen there. But all right, we did our exploration cards. We did not get our Titan. Speaking of Titans. Okay, add a new Titan. Cool. Oh, wait, did I? Yeah. All right. Then we get to roll on our adventure table, and our technology allows us to resolve an adventure from the hub you rolled or the one in the row directly below. So completing the first hub could be a little bit annoying, because there's nothing we can do to like choose that one. Okay, let's roll for our table. Boom. We got a 2. That puts us in the first story, so we could choose another Children of the Sun, but I think let's do Road Less Traveled, because we have an Argonaut who needs another Nemos anyway, so doing another Alpha adventure would be good for us. Actually, sorry, real quick, we gotta go and do this stuff first. Nope, why did I just open Discord? I need Scribe. There we go. Scribe. Adventures. Road Less Traveled. Oracles Go Silent. Voyage. I don't know if that's going to be helping us with our Fated Nemoses at all. Come on. I want to get rid of them. Alright. Voyage. No. No. Nope. Really? Nobody has any Voyage? That's kind of hard to believe. Wow, okay, I mean, I see a lot of gods, I see a lot of dream. I mean, between like regular Nemoses and Fated Nemoses, tragedy, heritage, deed. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of overlap of like when I get Fated, or when I get nodes, I'm gonna be getting a lot of nodes. Anyway, yeah, nothing for tragedy. That's annoying. Timeline, what am I doing? Okay, yeah, go to our voiceover page now, and then I can do Adventure Hub, Road Less Traveled, Oracles Go Silent.
The cold wind makes you readjust your cloaks. Ice covers entire stretches of land, encapsulating cities, forests, rivers. Yet there are still places out of its reach. For now, at least. The woman guiding you stumbles on the slippery stones, but you manage to catch her.
Ah, thank you,
She says, a smile creeping across her face. Her name is Plea, and she's the Delphian liaison to the Argo, entrusted with her people's exodus.
Do you think we will reach the temple in time?
She asks, absent-mindedly, eyeing the horizon.
The weather is getting worse. If we take too long, we will lose many.
You gaze at the crowd of Delphians around you, forced to abandon their town by the rising cold and seek shelter in a nearby temple of Helios, if its inhabitants are willing to let them in.
We have no other choice.
De Pile sighs.
We will do what we must, and we will survive to forge a new future, one without the gods.
She seems to want to say more, but instead merely smiles. We're grateful for your help, although I do worry. One of you says, these sun heirs don't sound like the friendliest of people. The sun heirs, Helios's fundamentalists. You are not looking forward to negotiating with them, and it seems De Pile isn't either. But instead of dwelling on what could happen, she points at one of your titans, carrying the weakest townsfolk on their back.
I've never seen a giant this close. Back home, we have ruins too big to be made by mortal hands. But we know not who truly built them. The Hyperboreans, perhaps?
Before you can ask her about it, the crowd suddenly stops. De Pile in tow, you elbow your way through until you reach the front of the procession where the Delphian leader, De Pile's superior, stands. Below, nestled between two frozen hills, lies the temple. You can almost feel the warmth from the fires within. The only obstacle between you and the temple is a cliff. There is no way the Delphians will be able to climb down safely in this weather, and a fall would kill any mortal. But your titans could do it. Another path winds around the cliff face, but there is no knowing how long it will take you to reach the temple this way. As you stand at the cliff top, a fleeting sensation builds up in the back of your head. Fragments of a memory fill your senses. The warmth of a parent's embrace, the cold sting of failure, and a heavy weight on your shoulders. The vision is gone before you can grasp it.
The least likely Argonaut gains the A Fall from Eden Nemos card. We only have one Argonaut who can gain a Nemos card at this point. They're going to gain a Fall from Eden. And how does this you look if we... Oh, it's fine. Is the focus on that? Yeah, okay, that's fine too. When you're about to suffer knockdown, suffer time clocked instead. So some of the future abilities on this one are a little bit better. Like on level 2, we can get second chance at danger 7, which is super nice to be able to have second chance on a Nemos card if you are really full up on gear slots. So we give that to Otis 0 because he lost his other Nemos card in a fight with the Burden. I think that was in the final battle with the Burden, if I remember correctly.
The wind picks up and people shiver around you, giving voice to concerned murmurs. What should we do, Argonauts? Asks the Delphian leader, concern etched on his face.
Two options here. Option 1. Having your Titans carry the Delphians down the cliff is too big a risk. The people will have to bear the cold a little longer, but how much more can they take? Not all of them will survive additional hours trekking in this weather. Take the safest but longer path, Twilight Watch Diplomacy +1, C001. Option 2. The Delphians are exhausted and many will not survive in the cold for long. This shortcut will allow you to reach the temple faster, saving many lives. But are you willing to risk your Titans falling from this ice-sleek cliff? climb down the cliff, Delphians diplomacy +1. I wonder... Alright, let's see. If I had to lose a Titan, I have one Dreamwalker I can lose. If we are we already friendly with the Delphians? Yeah, we're already friendly with them. We could. It would be nice to get another point for Twilight Watch. That would probably be Argo Fate we would gain. Let's take option 1. I'm curious what the downside of that option is going to be. Maybe we lose crew or something. All right. I'm not even showing the adventure, so let's do that. Adventure, Twilight Watch, diplomacy +1. And then C001.
Eager to reach the temple, the Delphians set off as the wind picks up again. Complaints and whimpers are slowly lost in the growing silence, until the only things you can hear are your Titan's grunts, the wind blowing in the trees, and the heavy steps of dozens of people. You keep walking in spite of the cold, encouraging the men and women around you. Just a little bit further, you promise. Some smile back tiredly, but many do not. You stop counting the bodies that lie on the side of the path, never to rise again. You stop trying to rouse them. There are just too many. You can't carry them all.
Damn, that's sad. Alright, so we're going to gain 1 Doom, which is going to put us at 3 Doom total. I'm not going to try to save against this yet because I would need to roll a 9 or a 10.
Eventually, the winding forested path ends and you reach a clearing. The temple stands in front of you, warm fires burning inside. You hurry to the entrance, part of your weariness evaporating now that your goal is nigh. People release sighs of relief as you are welcomed inside an entry chamber, barely big enough to contain all of you. Welcome! I am Oracle Therisandros. A man dressed in robes embroidered with sun patterns approaches you, 2 sun heirs flanking him. The Delphian leader, Plea at his side, relates the tale of the refugees. The oracle listens with the air of a man who has spent his whole life advising others. Shelter could be arranged, he answers. This temple is welcome to all who respect and worship Helios. The Delphian leader blinks. We have left those beliefs behind. The gods are dead, Oracle. It's time to move on and make our own future. The face of the Oracle sours in disappointment. No matter how much the Delphians plead, he won't accept non-believers inside the temple. At a loss, the leader and Plea turn to you.
Gain 1 progress. Let's gain that progress. That'll put us at 3 out of 6. On story card 1A. Then 3 options. Option 1, the lives of the Delphians are more important than their ideals. They will have to revert to previous traditions, at least perfunctorily. But at least they will survive. Advise the leader to accept the deal. Sun heirs diplomacy +1, Delphians diplomacy -1. Wait, what exactly is... I guess the deal is that they have to convert back to worshipping Helios? Okay. Option 2. This is a narrow path you're walking, but perhaps it can be walked. Perhaps you can negotiate a better deal for the Delphians, one that doesn't force them to sacrifice their ideals for their lives. Try to persuade the Oracle to make a better deal. Sun heirs diplomacy -1, Delphians diplomacy +1. Option 3. Hospitality offered at the cost of submission is no hospitality at all. It's servitude, one these people have already rejected. You could shelter the survivors on the Argo, but the trek to shore will be even longer. Offer the Delphians shelter and resources on the Argo instead. Sun Air's diplomacy -1, Delphians diplomacy +1. It's interesting that options 2 and 3, on the surface at least, have the same cost. I'm curious if they have the same, because I know there's a couple of small errors in the app. I wonder, just double check here. This is paragraph 001. Yeah, option 2 is down there, diplomacy -1, Delphians diplomacy +1. Option 3 is Sun Air's diplomacy -1. Yeah, okay, it is the same. With option 3, I feel like we're likely to gain a crew, I would bet, because we're adding, and we don't have a resource like we did in cycle 2, where it was like refugees, which could be a positive or a negative. We have Paradox, Frozen Time, which we needed technology to be able to research in order to get it. Time Silo, which we haven't gotten anything, we haven't talked about yet, and then Loop Length, which we also have not talked about yet. Those have not come up in our story yet. I feel like we don't always get the opportunity to have, like, bring the people on the Argo like this, and I feel weird. Like, even if we negotiate a better deal with the Sun Airs, it feels like, okay, well, let's say we accept the people here. They accept the people, and then we leave, and then the Sun Airs are like, actually, just kidding. You do have to follow Helios instead. Otherwise, we're gonna do some untoward things to you now. So let's go with option 3, and let's see what happens there. So Sun Air's diplomacy -1, just really pissing off those Sun Airs. So we'll probably do something similar to what we did in cycle 2, or I'm sorry, cycle 1, where we just kind of tank a faction, at least for a while we work on the other 2 factions, and then we, maybe we can get the Sun Airs back to, like, maybe neutral or friendly. I mean, probably not friendly by the end of it. Maybe. I think this cycle is actually longer than, like, in terms of timeline days. I think we have more than 80, correct? We do. Yeah, we have up to 90. Okay. More videos. All right, let's go back to voiceover, and we did option 3, so we're going to see paragraph 5.
You quickly realize this is going nowhere. The Oracle doesn't care about the Delphians and stands his ground. The Delphian leader isn't about to sacrifice his people's ideals either, but you can see his patience is wearing thin. Sooner or later, he will have to make a decision. One more look at the people shivering behind you, at the crying children and the elderly that can barely stand, and you make up your mind. There is room on the Argo, you declare. You couldn't have taken all the Delphians before, but now that there are fewer of them, Therasandros agrees to let you stay the night. As soon as the sun is up, you depart the temple and follow a different path to reach the Argo. Most of the Delphians arrive safely and are welcomed with warm food and blankets. Impressed by your courage and dedication to helping them, some decide to join your crew.
Gain a crew. Nice. I'll bring our total from 6 to 7.
Later, you will give them some resources so they can start anew. But for now, you inform the old priest. He doesn't seem to mind the new wave of refugees, but he knows as well as you do that it's only a temporary solution. Nevertheless, he seems glad that the Delphians are safe.
Lose 3 Hyperborean ally resources. If you don't have enough, gain 1 to... Ooh. I don't think I'm gonna have. I don't think I have any Hyperborean resources. Dang, I do not. That's a shame because losing 3 would not be that bad of a penalty if I had it. I feel like gain 1 Doom. Do I want to go to 4 Doom? Let's see. I think I would need an 8, 9, or 10. Earlier, I think I said I need a 9 or 10, but I think I actually just need an 8, 9, or 10. Let's try to save against it. 8, 9, or 10. Come on. 5. I'm not going to re-roll that. All right, so we're going to gain another Doom. 4 Doom. Feels like a lot of Doom. 1 Doom, like almost 1 Doom per day this early on feels like a lot. Okay, no, day 5 is correct. Then return to the voyage phase. Okay, so that story is done. And we have nothing else in the timeline for today, so let's go to day 6. All right. Oh, I'm going to get to a... One second. Okay. The thing that I think is happening is going to happen after the combat encounter because it happens during the story step. Like during our story card, it says on the 6th day, during the story step, read this paragraph. I was thinking I would get to it in this video, but I guess not. So I think I will probably do this next battle against the Oracle. I'll probably do that one off camera just because it's been a minute since I've done any of the like any stuff for this game off camera. And I wouldn't mind doing a battle just on my own. And then the next video, actually, I'm not sure how long this video is yet because I had to split it up into a couple parts. So maybe I would just continue this one. I'm not sure, we'll see. But regardless, at least we're going to go on to the 6th day now. We're going to start that. We can only go east here. So we will go, east to tile 4, which is a Delphian's tile. And we got our first city. I don't think we have any negotiation abilities, do we? No. No, we do not. And we get a combat research today, so don't think we're going to get any benefit from being on a city space. That's a shame. But all right. Yeah, there's nothing else interesting on this tile. At least that I see. And let me tell you, I don't see a whole lot. I'm not that observant of a person. I'm sorry. Canonically, I guess I'm a boat. I'm a merging boat, so. And we will, there's our map. So we are about to have to just circle back on our path here, I guess, because we can't go south. Oh, darn. I wonder what'll happen. If I'm wrong, if my memory is failing me on what's going to happen, I'll be a little annoyed at myself, but I think I remember what happens. Okay. Go to our exploration cards here. Gain 2 Siren Shell resources, and haha, we are off of the Sun airspace, so we're not denounced. So 2, okay, how many of these Siren Shell cards? Is this another situation where I'm doing a terrible job shuffling? Probably. You know, I'm gonna shuffle this again. I'm gonna shuffle this on camera. You can criticize my shuffling technique here. And right now I'm just gonna do a little bit of this. Mash, mash. And we'll go to this kind of shuffle. I feel like I'm just getting into this situation really often where it's like, oh, I keep seeing the same cards pop up towards the top of this deck. Like, time and time again. All right, now let's split it. Let's cut it there. Boom. right, there we go. I like that, Gain a Titan. We haven't seen, actually, I've also seen that one. I was gonna say, I haven't seen that one in a while. I was like, actually, I think even that one I've seen like on 3 days, if whatever. All right. No more reshuffling. Gain a Titan. Gain a Titan. I did. All right. If you're wondering why I have two Truthbearer Titans, it's because last cycle, in one of the Nietzschean fights, I got the Truthbearer crippled intentionally, so that way we could breed a new one. And then I was able to uncripple the Truthbearer that we had. And then Firestarter, I think I just had, I'd gotten an extra one from an Adventure Hub, I think. Dang, I cannot get rid of this damn cough. Okay. I need to gain a rage with somebody. Let's just do this randomly. Let's roll our dice here and just see whoever gets the highest one, we'll give them the rage. Oh wow, that's 2 10s. Let's roll between them two again. Okay, that's cocked. That's a 7. All right, congratulations, Leocules. You are a little pissed off now. Good for you. Then we'll continue that stack. Gain 2 Skin of Malice resources. All right, more skin in the ocean. And then we will continue to the next pile. Gain 2 Living Abyss. Gain 3 instead. Cool. 1, 2, 3, up to 20 Living Abyss aboard the Argo. Take these, shuffle them back into our deck. Da, 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 da. All right. And there is no expedition on this, which is going to lead us to an encounter. And I think I'm actually just going to end the video here. I don't think the first part of this video is that long. This is probably going to end up being about an hour long, if I had to guess. A little bit on the shorter side compared to some of our other videos, but a little peek behind the curtain. Like in real life, in real life, as opposed to me being involved in this actual world of ancient Greece. Now I'm going to be doing a business trip for work this week. So I'm going to be gone all week, and I don't think I really want to just like have to pick up the existing video after I get back from work. I'll just start a new video at that point. So we'll just cut this video here. I'm filming this like the morning that I have to leave, but I like filming in the morning, honestly. It's nice to just get up really early and get that done. Also, this like takes so much of my brain power that like it's hard for me to play this game after work. If I've had a long work day or something like that, this game is kind of hard to really muster up the brain power afterwards. Plus, I like spending my time with my wife after work. Spending the time playing this game is easier in the mornings because I just get it before she wakes up, and then we're good. Anyway, we will just call it here. And then I'm going to see if I can knock out another battle before I have to leave for the airport. And then I will resume filming when I get back. But for you, there will be no break in videos. Thank you for watching. As always, I really appreciate your time. I hope I'm able to keep you entertained. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Double wave. Goodbye.